Let's talk about nitrogen cycle today. Nitrogen is present as N2 gas in air and for that we have shown two blocks joined together. So this nitrogen is very vital for plants and animals who cannot function without it and their bodies cannot be made. So let's see why they are important. So here are proteins that build our bodies, and you can see eggs, meat, milk, fish and pulses here. All these are proteins. And what is the relation between proteins and nitrogen? Let's see. Proteins can be thought of as string of beads, different types of beads which we can call amino acids, and these different amino acids join together to make these complicated molecules called proteins, which are of various types. So what are amino acids? These are themselves molecules made out of C, H and O, but other than C, H and O, there is one essential ingredient called N or nitrogen. So without this nitrogen, amino acids cannot be made. There are around 20 kinds of amino acids which build our bodies. So how does nitrogen reach into the bodies to build amino acids and then proteins? Cannot be taken directly from air because it's a very inert gas. So there are some other methods which make it reach our bodies. One method which actually brings nitrogen into the soil is lightning. This free nitrogen in air is converted to nitrate because of lightning, nitrate ions, which is one nitrogen and three oxygens with a negative charge. So these nitrates get dissolved in the soil, and from here they can be easily absorbed by plant bodies, and plant bodies then build their own proteins, which are complicated compounds of nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon and oxygen. So once plants build their proteins, these are eaten by animals who break down into amino acids again and create their own proteins out of these ingredients. So this is one way nitrogen has reached bodies. Now we will look at another method through which this happens. This second method, which is much more powerful, is through bacteria living in the soil. One particular type is called rhizobium bacteria, and there are some other free living bacteria. So what do? They convert this nitrogen into ammonium ions, which is 1N and 4H plus a positive charge. So where do these rhizobium bacteria live? We will see that they live in actually plant roots. There are root nodules in some plants, as we can see on the screen, and primarily these root nodules are present in pulses and grams, where these rhizobium bacteria live and make this free nitrogen available in the soil as ammonium ions. So this way some nitrogen is trapped as ammonium ions. There is another way ammonium ions reach the soil, and that is from plants and animal bodies themselves through their wastes. So plants drop their leaves and dead parts, same as animals. Animals give off urine and they give dung. So all this is then, all these have materials like urea and ammonia into them, where you can see nitrogen is part of those molecules, and all this is now converted in the soil into ammonium ions by the action of decomposers. Who are decomposers? They are basically fungi and bacteria. So these decomposers break down the wastes into ammonium ions. So we actually then have ammonium ions through another channel. Now, we have seen that ammonium reaches the soil through two processes. And how will this ammonium be utilized? To convert it into nitrate ions, another type of bacteria work, which we will call as nitrifying bacteria. So what is nitrification? So these nitrifying bacteria do this process of conversion of ammonium into nitrate, which we will just show you on screen. Nitrification is when H is taken out and instead of that O is added. Whenever oxygen is added, we call it nitrification. So this is what these bacteria are doing. They are converting the ammonium ions into nitrate ions. So here you can see from ammonium to nitrite ion to nitrate ion, oxygen is getting added, and this is the process of nitrification done by nitrifying bacteria, and that's what is happening in the soil. So we have this another process through which nitrates have reached plants and animals. So two processes through which we have seen how nitrates are made available to the plants and animal bodies, and therefore they are utilized by these living organisms. Now, how would these nitrates reach back the air? How would nitrogen reach back the air? So these nitrates are converted into nitrogen back again by denitrifying bacteria, which do the reverse process, which is like nitrate is converted to nitrite to nitrogen, which means oxygen is taken out from the ion to finally go back to air as nitrogen gas, and thus the cycle is completed.